switching a little bit to organic SEO, but also some paid media. I've always heard kind of the analogy of kind of like the faucet on and off. Like so SEO might be more of that slower trickle if you build it right, but it has that longer tail. Whereas paid media, if you're putting some money into Google to drive traffic to your landing page or wherever, it's almost like you turn that faucet on fast. But as soon as that money stops of what you're giving and what you're putting into that ad spend, it's like that faucet goes back off, or it goes back down to that trickle of what you've already built through organic means. Is that kind of how you envision it, or how can other people just kind of think about it when it comes to organic versus paid?
Yeah, it's a great topic because there's a lot of truth to the analogy you just gave. Now, I'm never one to throw rocks at other forms of marketing. Like if they work, they work. But that doesn't mean there aren't factual differences between them. So like with paid ads, you're right. I think the biggest. So yes, you can turn the faucet on way quicker, but I think the thing that people misunderstand, or it's because marketers are good at being marketers, is that like just because you turn it on doesn't mean it's profitable.
Right.
And so like the paid ads guys are often throwing rocks at the SEO side going, oh, it takes time, which it does. And I'll talk about in a minute. But what they don't communicate is, yeah, you can turn an ad on, but you're losing your ass off on money for a long time. Mm-hmm. So are we talking about how quickly the ad is on or how quickly is the ad profitable?
Yeah.
Because that's a big difference. And so you're probably burning money for at least 2 months, if not 3 or 4 months, to finally dial it in and get it right. Well, within 3 or 4 months, I can start monetizing SEO too. Mm. And so there's a big difference in progress versus monetization. Now, with SEO, the problem SEOs have on the other side is a lot of people say, well, SEO takes a year. And there's truth to that, but they fail to communicate why. And the why is when we launch an account, there's 2 things that start at the beginning. We got the research side of the team going, where's David's money? We got to go find the money for our client. And so it's looking at the tools that we briefly touched on, where it's like, what are people already asking search engines? What are the buyer intent? Because when you talk about paid ads versus SEO, you're targeting different people. With paid ads, you're largely stereotyping and go, well, the audience is generally male or female. They're generally in this age group. They generally like these things, but you're not necessarily targeting the pain points. SEO is the opposite. It doesn't matter as much if it's male or female age group, this or that, but you look at the keywords, you look at the phrases where, like if somebody, let's say, like we have a client that works on depression therapy. And so they have this really specialized machine. And so we're not going to be targeting like men or women in this age group. Like who knows who has depression? So instead you target the pain points, because people with depression are going to be searching things like, how long does depression last? So right there implies an intent-based lead, because they're asking about a pain point with a time frame and with a commitment. And that doesn't, in that phrase, that doesn't communicate if it's a man or a woman. That doesn't communicate where they live. It doesn't communicate anything. It just is their pain point. And so now you connect to that pain point. And so it's different audiences. Back to SEO. So in the beginning, you're looking at the intent, you're finding the money, but then you're also doing technical updates. You're making the page load quicker, you're making it more mobile friendly. So you're 2 months into it just to know where the data is, just to fix the page speed, and just to lay the foundation. After that, it's just an accrual of credibility and content. And so it's this giant content machine. Now, the last thing I'll touch on is the exponential growth potential of SEO. With paid ads, the nice thing is also the disadvantage. The nice thing is that you can calculate $1 in equals $2 out. That's a disadvantage because eventually you cap out and it starts to dilute. It becomes $1 in, $1.10 out.
Yeah.
Now with SEO, it's going to be $1 in, nothing out. $1 in, $2 out. $1 in, $5,000 out. There's a really great study. If you go search Conductor web traffic. So Conductor's a company that did a study on web traffic. And what it calculated was it basically boiled down traffic from sources to website in 4 categories. It was organic social, paid social, organic search engines, paid search engines. And what was amazing was not that organic was the most traffic, but by the margin. It was 2% of all gross traffic comes from social media, 6% comes from paid ads, 64% comes from organic.
Wow. That's not even close. I mean, that's crazy.
So if you're doing social paid ads, keep doing it, but just look at how much money you're leaving on the table.